Well, this week, Colorado is the latest state to move new gun control measures closer to law. It's just one state of many where some new gun laws are being considered right now. A debate on stricter gun control is also happening on a national level, as you know. In the United States, an estimated 70 million Americans own guns. That's 1 out of 3 of us. And last year, more background checks for gun ownership were conducted than any year in history. In fact, we saw a new record in December. Background checks in general have surged 54% since the election of President Obama, and that in part inspired our next guest. With all the noise on gun control and gun rights, Dan Baum decided to go directly to who he calls the Gun Guys, a group he himself belongs to. And Dan joins us now on set. He's the author of Gun Guys, a road trip that just is hitting the market right now. So Dan, Gun Guys, who are they?
They are, I was surprised. They are a lot of Jews, which surprised me. I'm a Jewish guy. I'm a Jewish liberal Democrat. I couldn't believe how many Jewish gun guys I met. A lot of liberals, but a lot of conservatives, but women, African Americans, white, old fat white guys, as they call themselves, is kind of the bulge of the gun guy demographic.
So what surprised you about that?
The big surprises for me, I drove around the country, drove 15,000 miles. The big thing, I always knew how attractive guns were to shoot and to handle, because I liked them myself. But I had never really thought about the way we gun guys get a lot of pride out of just owning these guns, managing them safely, taking care of them, using them effectively. And there was another element that I had never thought of, and that is, in the United States, our system of government places a tremendous amount of trust in the people. We have a lot of trust to know things, to speak, to write, and we have this trust to own guns. Now, some people think we have too much freedom to own guns, but that represents a unique relationship between the government and the people. I mean, really, in this country, we're special that way. And a lot of gun guys would talk to me about how proud they are to be participating in American history, just by being a gun guy, just by being one of the people who is allowed to own firearms.
In the beginning of the book, one of the things you mentioned is that you felt that this gun debate, or the conversation we're having about guns, is really divided between party lines. And that's something you wanted to explore more. And after this journey that you document in your book, what do you think about that? Are we having the right conversation about guns in this country?
No. Oh, God, no. I mean, there's all kinds of things we could do if we wanted to be safer around these 300 million guns that we live with. There are all kinds of things we could do that have nothing to do with gun bans. But it would involve including the gun guys in the debate. And what we've done now, with all this talk of assault rifle bans and magazine bans, is we've driven them out of the debate. We've driven them into this defensive crouch that they often go into. And
do you feel, because you're a gun guy, do you feel like you're in that crouch too?
Less than some. Remember, I'm a liberal Democrat, right? So I'm a gun guy, right? So I'm kind of divided down the middle. I'm kind of schizophrenic on this. But it's just a pity that the very people who know guns the best, who could have a lot to add for how we can live safely among these guns, are not part of the conversation.
I only have 30 seconds here, but why? Why aren't they part of the conversation?
My party has an institutional hostility to firearms, and when I was driving around the country, I would meet working guys all the time, plumbers, electricians, parks and rec workers, who would say, why is that? The Democratic Party is the party of the working man, and we like guns. And they won't listen to the Democrats now about anything. Climate change, immigration, health care, on, because of the Democrats' institutional hostility to guns. And I'm always trying to tell people in my party, cool it on the gun control. It's not going to make us safer, and we're doing ourselves a lot of damage.
I invite our viewers to check out your book. Very interesting anecdote at the beginning about how Dan first got to be a gun guy at the young age of 5. I'll leave it there. Dan, it's great to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. More happening.